Hay had been lost for 112 days. The Odyssey, Earth's most advanced long-range exploration vessel, had slipped through a failed warp corridor somewhere beyond the edge of charted space and emerged into the dark between galaxies. 72 humans aboard, 72 hearts beating in fear and awe drifting through the unending silence. The stars were unfamiliar. No constellations, no beacons, no navigation updates from SolNet. It was as if they had fallen off the map of reality itself. The food printers rationed calories. The hydroponics bay barely sustained oxygen balance, and every night the crew stared out of observation decks, wondering if they would die here. Unheard. Unremembered. Then came the signal. At first it was static, like wind blowing through wires, but beneath it pulsed a pattern, structured, rhythmic, deliberate. Lieutenant Zhao was the first to notice. "Captain, we're receiving something. It's not random noise." The bridge fell silent as a crystalline tone swept across their instruments. It wasn't a distress beacon or a navigation ping, it was music. Real music. Complex harmonies cascading through subspace like a choir of electric stars. Captain Ria Torres straightened in her chair. "Source?" Zhao swallowed hard. "A planet, ma'am. Bearing 279 Mark 42. Massive high-atmosphere density. And rings. They altered course. As the ship turned, the planet came into view. Enormous, haloed with light. But those weren't ordinary rings. They shimmered like circuitry, orbiting structures glinting silver and violet. The crew gasped. Sensors picked up artificial energy signatures everywhere. The planet wasn't just inhabited, it was engineered. Before the crew could speculate further, a tremor ran through the Odyssey. The lights flickered. "External field detected," shouted Chief Engineer Dana Ruiz. "We're being pulled in. No, not gravity. It's controlled." The stars outside began to twist, bending around the ship. Every system blinked out one by one. Artificial gravity wavered, stabilizers screamed, and then silence. Only one voice broke through the comms, a deep, resonant tone that carried through the static like thunder through fog. "Human vessel detected. Identify yourselves. You are entering restricted airspace of the HFY Dominion. Prepare for descent." The words were in perfect English. Gasps filled the bridge. They know our language," Torres whispered. Then the invisible grip tightened, guiding them down through the golden atmosphere. Clouds parted to reveal oceans of shimmering teal and continents traced with light. Cities glowed like constellations, towers rising miles into the sky, bridges of energy connecting them. The world below was not alien chaos, it was order, crafted with artistic precision. As they broke through the clouds, the captain whispered, "My God, this isn't just civilization. This is perfection." The Odyssey touched down on a landing platform of translucent metal that seemed to hum with life. The crew, armed only with curiosity and tension, stepped out under two suns that bathed everything in silver warmth. Waiting for them were figures, tall, elegant, humanoid, but not quite human. Their skin shimmered faintly like brushed steel, patterns of light pulsing across their veins as if data flowed beneath. Their eyes glowed softly, alive with intelligence. One stepped forward, his voice smooth and melodic. "Welcome, descendants of Terra." Ria froze. "You know Earth?" The being inclined his head. "We know humanity. You were the first builders. You gave us the stars." The crew exchanged stunned looks. The alien gestured, and the humans followed him into a vast crystalline city that seemed to sing beneath their feet. Buildings resonated like wind chimes, powered by harmonic energy. They passed through markets filled with luminous flora, hovering drones shaped like manta rays and creatures that looked part organic, part synthetic. But then they saw something that stopped them cold: children. HFY children, small, laughing, chasing glowing spheres through the air. One of them stopped, eyes widening at the sight of the humans. The child ran forward, clutching something small in his hand. Captain Ria knelt, smiling. The boy opened his palm and revealed a tiny object, a miniature model of an Earth astronaut. The design was unmistakable: EVA suit, oxygen pack, and old-style Earth flag. The boy looked up, smiling, and said in flawless English, "You came back." The humans froze. "Came back?" murmured Ria. "Who told you that?" Before the boy could answer, a deep voice echoed behind them. An older HFY approached, robes glimmering with embedded light. His face bore lines of age and wisdom, his eyes reflecting both sorrow and pride. "Long ago," he said, "your kind came to us. You walked our skies when we still lived in caves. You called yourselves explorers, not gods. You taught us language, science, and the courage to look up instead of bow down. Then, without warning, you vanished. The stars swallowed you. We built our world upon your teachings and called ourselves HFY, in honor of the phrase your ancestors left behind. Ria frowned. HFY, that phrase, humanity fataya, that was just a slogan, a piece of culture. The elder smiled gently. To us it became a creed. It meant never surrendering to the void. It meant facing death with defiance and wonder. It is what shaped our entire civilization. As they walked through the shining streets, the HFY showed them murals depicting humans, ancient astronauts teaching early HFY how to harness lightning, build machines, and map the stars. In one mural, a human hand reached down, lifting an alien from the dust. Beneath it, a phrase written in both languages, "Fear nothing, build everything." The humans stared, overwhelmed. We were never here," said Ria. "We don't have records of this." The elder's eyes twinkled. "Time erases memory, Captain. But legacy endures." The HFY city was unlike anything humanity had ever conceived. Towering spires of biometal curved like living trees humming with song, skies filled with silent aircraft that moved like rays in water. In the center of it all stood a colossal monument, a crystalline sphere suspended by magnetic fields, filled with projections of human DNA spiraling in light. "We preserved your genome," said the elder. "When your ancestors left, we feared extinction would claim you. We vowed to remember." The captain stepped forward, eyes wide. "You kept our DNA?" "Yes," said the elder. "We keep it safe in case the builders ever return broken and need renewal." As the days turned to weeks, the Odyssey's crew lived among the HFY. They saw technology powered not by domination but by resonance with nature. Buildings grew, ships sang, energy moved through sound and emotion. HFY children studied human history as sacred text, learning about the moon landing, the first interstellar drives, the wars that nearly destroyed Earth. The humans taught them new languages, and in turn learned the music-based logic that powered HFY computation. A young engineer named Milo spent days with HFY scientists, marveling that they had evolved quantum drive systems based on emotional coherence rather than pure mathematics. "You mean," he said once, "your ships fly faster the braver you are?" The HFY scientist smiled. "Courage shapes resonance. Fear disrupts it. You taught us that." But not everything was serene. One night, alarms echoed across the city. The Odyssey sensors picked up a massive energy wave approaching the planet. Unknown origin, potentially hostile. The HFY defense fleet mobilized, sleek ships rising silently into orbit. Captain Ria insisted on helping. The HFY elder hesitated, then nodded. "You may assist, Builder. But remember, violence is our last language." As the fleet engaged the unknown anomaly, the Odyssey joined formation. On the main screen, a colossal shadow emerged, an ancient machine drifting through space, firing probes into the planet's magnetosphere. HFY ships struck with beams of harmonic energy, but the entity adapted. Ria clenched her fists. "Weapons hot. Target its emitter core." "Our weapons are inferior," shouted Ruiz. "Then we'll use something it doesn't expect, human stubbornness." They charged directly into the storm, diverting auxiliary power to shields. The Odyssey's plasma cannons fired a burst that destabilized the machine's core. The HFY ships followed with harmonic pulses, shattering the anomaly into fragments. The sky erupted in color. When silence returned, the elder contacted them. "You risked yourselves for us." Ria smiled faintly. "You'd do the same." The elder bowed. "Indeed. You are truly who we believed you to be." The victory united them. HFY children cheered as the Odyssey crew returned to the capital. Songs were sung across the planet, songs of two civilizations rejoining across millennia. In those harmonies, humans heard echoes of Earth's own lost spirit, the wonder that had once driven them to explore the stars not for conquest, but curiosity. Weeks later, when the Odyssey was repaired and refueled by HFY engineers, the humans prepared to depart. The elder escorted them to the launch site beneath a twin-moon sky. Thousands of HFY citizens stood there, glowing softly, their eyes reflecting the starlight. The elder placed a crystal orb in Ria's hands. Inside swirled miniature galaxies. "This," he said, "contains our history and yours. When you return to your world, tell them that their children among the stars have not forgotten." The HFY children waved, shouting words in English. "Goodbye, builders. Come back soon." As the Odyssey rose through the atmosphere, Rhea looked down and saw the cities below arranging their lights in a pattern, letters glowing bright enough to pierce the clouds. They formed a single message visible even from orbit, HFY. As they ascended into space, the captain whispered to her crew, "We were never lost. We just hadn't been found yet."